Sister Shivani, what can I say? So part of my work is I travel around the world, I go on business, and wherever I go, whether it's Canada, Hawaii, Hong Kong, when they find out I'm with the Brahma Kumaris, they say, can you do me one favor, please? Can you introduce me to Sister Shivani? So here is a personality that has changed the lives of millions of people around the world. She's got 1.5 million followers on Facebook, tens of millions of followers on YouTube, and yet her simplicity. So I've been having the just distinct pleasure of traveling with her, to driving her around and being with her. She stayed at our place in San Francisco for a couple of days. And the care she has for the littlest things, that I say that she's my example of what a perfect sister should be like. So I'm trying to get out of the way so you can listen to Shivani.
Om Shanti. When someone appreciates you and says nice things about you, do you know who they are talking about? Do you know who they are talking about? Who are they talking about? It's like I look at this glass and I ask you, please describe this glass. And you can go on and on and on. Oh, it's silver. It's very good for health. It nourishes me daily. That's your perspective about the glass. And another person could have a completely different perspective about the glass. Yes or no? Yes, same glass? Two perspectives? So if somebody is appreciating the glass, who are they talking about? Who are they talking about? They're talking about their quality to be able to see nice things. But that does not mean everybody is going to appreciate me. So when Janardhan Bhai is appreciating, you have to applaud for him because he's reflecting his qualities to you. People can talk very nicely about us. They can talk very nicely to us. Some can do that all the time, and some can do that sometimes, and some can do very strange things to us sometimes. And so now, I have got used to Janardhan by talking nice things about me. And this is a very deep addiction. It's a very deep addiction. And after some time, I actually start waiting for him to start talking nicely about me. Does that happen? And after some time, I assume that he will always talk like this about me. And one day, he goes up and says, I haven't seen anyone who has a bigger ego than Sister Shivani. Is that possible for someone to change what they think and believe about us? Is it possible? And that day I'm going to get hurt. And obviously I will get hurt. Isn't it obvious that I will get hurt that day? No. A little hurt, little. Am I allowed to get a little hurt? Little? Yes or no? But I should not get hurt. Acha. Hanji, aap kya keh rahe the? You don't have to get hurt. You always have a choice. On this journey of 15 days, I have met a lot of such old souls. You know, old souls? Wise, profound, spiritual, in little bodies. And every time you meet them, it reaffirms that who we are is not about only what we are in this body, but who we are is what we have been carrying for many births. And that's why when someone says, oh, but how can you prove that there is rebirth? I say, we don't need to prove. Why should you prove something which is so evident? Prove something which is not evident, something which is so evident. His parents would have not taught him this. And yet the child starts talking about things which even a parent might not know. It could be sometimes somebody knows how to play a particular instrument. For someone it could be knows very well to work on a gadget. For someone it could be being very good with maths. And for someone it could be being very good with spiritual principles. For someone it could be singing, which has not been taught once they came into this body. For someone it could be something else. But then the question is, where did they learn it from? And the parents will say, we did not teach them. So where did they learn it from? They learnt it in their earlier costume. Today, we learn something. Tomorrow, we change our dress. But what we learn doesn't change with our dress. And so if someone's going to ask, say, but this what you learnt was when you were wearing the blue color shirt yesterday. So you say, what does it have to do with my shirt? It has to do with me. I learnt it and I've only changed my dress. So what I've learnt is not going to go away. Similarly, what I create here, what I hold here, is here. Nothing to do with this dress. And then I change my dress. Everything that I acquired outside, I will have to redo. Which means again go to kindergarten, again study, again acquire all the degrees, again learn to talk, again learn to walk, again learn to read, again learn to write. But there's only one thing which I don't need to do again, is my sanskars. Those are going with me as it is. Now, what happened was, I got used to Janardhan by appreciating me like this. And then one day he said something to me which I didn't feel was right. And that day I created hurt. And that day I created a thought, he insulted me. And when I created this thought, he insulted me, it got recorded here. Right? It got recorded here. And when it got recorded here, I reaffirmed it by saying, I can never forgive him and I can never forget what he has done. Does it happen once in a while when we say? And then sometimes we say, okay, I can forgive, but I cannot forget. And when I say that to myself, that I cannot forget, I'm saying that this is recorded on this CD. And when I say I cannot forget, I am saying to myself that I will hold on to this till. I'm going to hold on to this till I die. Any of you are holding on to anything which you plan to hold on to till you die? Anything, think. Check very carefully. Anything which you're holding on to and you said, I will never forget what they said. I will never forget what they did. And you think that we will be holding on to it till we die. And then remember this little boy. And then tell yourself, if I don't delete it before I die, which means if I don't delete it before I leave this costume, then that little 3-year-old child is going to say, Janardhan uncle hurt me. And the mummy papa are going to say, why are you feeling hurt? What has he done? No, he hurt me. And why is that 3-year-old child saying he hurt me? Why is the 3-year-old child saying he hurt me? Because that soul did not delete that song from the CD before exiting the previous costume. And so it's going to come with me into my next costume. And in my next costume, I'm going to get hurt more easily than before, because my impression of getting hurt, my belief system that when people are not nice to me, or they do not say about me or behave with me the way I think is right, is already recorded. And now somebody does not need to say anything to me. They just don't look at me the right way, and I say, they insulted me. Previously it was, they didn't behave with me the right way. Then it was, they did not speak to me the right way. Then it was, they did not look at me the right way. And every time, the stimulus is becoming simpler and smaller, but my hurt is getting deeper and deeper. And then, in my next costume, I'm not even aware what people have done to me, but I feel rejected. I feel disrespected. And those people could be people who are very close to me. They could be my family. Because, you know, by the time I change my costume, even Janardhan uncle will change his costume. So then I will not recognize that this is Janardhan Bhai. That's when it gets very complicated. Right now in this costume, it's easy for me to recognize. This is the person, this is what he did, this is what he said, and I am hurt. And when I have the complete knowledge of who is the soul, what they did, and I am hurt, I have the power to heal myself. But when I change my costume, nature is very beautiful. Nature does not allow us to remember who we were, and nature does not allow us to remember who were the people around us and what they did. Imagine if nature allowed us to remember everything. What would happen then? What would happen then? What would happen? Can you visualize if nature allowed us to remember what we did previously? What would happen? So one day, I would be in school, 3-4-year-old, and there would be this another 3-4-year-old girl or boy around me, and I will go up to them and say, do you know what you did last time to me? You hurt me last time. Life would become so chaotic. And that's why it's very beautiful for us to forget. Today, some of us are trying to revive the past. And we go for therapies and we go for techniques by which we can know the past, by which we can know what had happened to us, by which we can know who did what they did, because we believe that when we understand who did what they did, it will be easier for us to forgive, to let go. Let's not play with nature. Let's not play with nature. If we were meant to remember, we would have remembered. If we don't remember, it's because we are not meant to remember. We're not meant to remember. Whether I know someone had done something or whether I don't know, important is for me to know that I have had a past connection with them. I forgot to forgive them last time. Or I chose to forgive them, not forgive them last time. Or I thought I have a very long life and I'll forgive them sometime, and before that I left. Now we don't know when we're going to leave. What if you know that tonight, 12 o'clock, you are going to leave? Anything you would like to do? It's 7 o'clock. 5 hours and we leave. We leave, not from Anubhuti. We leave. Anything you would like to do in 5 hours? You know, 5 hours is a long time. Most people don't even get 5 minutes. So what would we like to do in 5 hours? We have to leave. Hanji? Forgive everyone. Forget everything. And what else would we like to do in 5 hours? Think of God. There's so much to do in 5 hours. Why think of Him that time? Because that way? Because that's where we are going to go. So let's meet Him after we go there. Let's spend these 5 hours with these people. Why should I think of God at that time? You know, it's like I'm going to leave US and go to India after 5 days. So why should I think of India today? I should make the most of my being here. When I go there, I'll think, oh, why should I think of God before leaving? Why should I? Because that's what we are taught. That if you're unwell, if you're on the verge of leaving, now only remember Him. Why? The secret is it's difficult to remember Him that time if you haven't done it throughout the journey of life. We meet a lot of people who have to be prepared to leave. And you won't believe the strangest of things that they want to do before they want to leave. You know, some souls are not able to leave the costume. Even though the costume has started getting not worth living in, deteriorating, but they're not able to leave. Why are they not able to leave? Because there is some unfinished business. There was a sister who used to come to the center very unwell. Doctor said there's no way she could even get up now from here. And then we were talking to her and she said, no, first call my daughter. And then her daughter was called and she gave her all the gold and everything that she wanted to give after that. It's very important to leave with everything finished, everything settled. No pending business, whether outside or whether inside. We all make a will of what we are going to leave behind. And most of us would have our will ready because we know that we can leave anytime. So gone is the time when somebody would prepare their will when they were 60 or 70 years old. Now at what age do we prepare our will? 30, 40. Now if somebody asks you, what's the need to prepare a will at the age of 30, 40? You say you don't want to leave problems behind. You want to leave it all sorted for your children. We take so much care of what we are going to leave behind when we move on. Why don't we take care of what we are going to carry with us when we move on? Why don't we take care of what we are going to carry with us when we move on? If we don't want to leave any problems behind, why don't we take care that we don't carry any problems with us on the journey forward? So, if I have 5 hours to live in this costume, I would need to sort out everything. No getting pulled by anyone and no pulling anyone. Sorted, clean. But now I don't know when that time is going to come. I don't know when that time is going to come. So when should I do that? Sorting out my unfinished karmic accounts. When should I do that? From now. And which means I will have to be ready. Ready all the time. And so the art of living is actually the same as art of dying. If I'm ready to die, I'm going to live a very beautiful life. Because ready to die means all my karmic accounts are all settled, clean. No one to forgive, no one to ask apology from, because I've been doing it on a daily basis. So I'm ready to leave. Being ever ready is a spiritual principle. Ever ready to leave. Like those who travel very often, one suitcase is always ready. It has to be, because you don't have time to pack. So that bag has to be ready. One call and I'm ready. Everything is packed. Similarly, one moment and I have to be ready. But to be able to be ready for that moment, I will have to be ready. I will have to be ready always. Always. And which means no one to forgive, no one to forgive, and no one to ask apology for, no hurt to clean, no rejection carrying forward with me. The most beautiful thing that spirituality and Raj Yoga teaches us, that take care of what is getting recorded on the soul, because that's where you are going to start your next journey from. So it's not only about the present life, it's also going to influence my... Now, is there anyone we need to forgive? Is there anyone we need to forgive? Is there anything we need to forget? Anybody has anything to forgive? Anything to forget? Okay, let's take a 30-second pause. Close your eyes. Look at your life. And take it right from childhood. Scan. Scan your entire life. Sometimes it could be something about my parents. Sometimes I could feel they've not been very fair to me. I may feel they loved the other one more than me. They gave the other one more than me. Simple things, deep recorded on the soul. Scan. Parents. Siblings. Friends. Anyone said or did something which was not the way I wanted it to be, and I still remember it. Spouse. Colleagues. Children. Okay, now this is a scan which needs to be done regularly. It's to be done regularly, because you never know whose name will pop up when. Because it's there, much, much below the layer, something that happened in childhood. And I think I've forgotten it, but it will just pop up one day. When I hear their name, when I meet them after a long time.